Hi, I'm Brian Roberts, and we're at the Roosevelt 2.0 in Tampa, Florida, and this is an urban center for social change.
Alrighty, so what is it that you do?
What do? I come up with things in my head and manifest them, but through action and intent.
And what are most of these things?
Typically, they have something to do with the built environment, or with energy, with shelter, with food, with water, basically, and kind of into community building.
Excellent. And what types of communities?
All different types of communities. This particular project here is, as I mentioned before, an urban center for social change. And what we try to do here is bring people together, and through events, through just interaction with one another. We're in the process of opening an organic smoothie and juice bar, so there'll be an internet cafe here that'll bring people in here in the daytime. Then in the evenings we have events like we did tonight. We had a movie screening, we had some intent, and we brought people together and shared energy. We had a musical, some music playing at the end of it. We had a drum circle going on tonight, and we had an art installation. So these are things that are actually typical of what goes on here on a fairly regular basis.
And these things that you do, these projects and the things that you facilitate, what is your intention behind those?
Creating community. We want to bring people together in a socially responsible manner and an environmentally responsible manner. I'm a general contractor, and I also work in kind of the energy sector, the alternative energy sector, and creating communities that are closed loop, basically eliminating the concept of waste.
Self-sustaining.
Self-sustaining, absolutely. We take things that people typically would consider a waste product, and we turn them into a resource. So sewage sludge, for example, we are working on a prototype that will be here at the Roosevelt that will generate electricity for the building using sewage sludge. It will actually generate electricity, heating, and cooling for the building. And it's something that is typically a problem for municipalities, or a waste product for municipalities, and we're using it as a resource. The building here is sort of a microcosm of that social experiment. We have a number of different artisans and businesses that are operating simultaneously out of this, and it's basically creating a collective of people doing what they're passionate about, and we're facilitating that. We're giving them the hub or the network to do that through.
Beautiful. Do you have any suggestions for people who would like to be more self-sustaining in the homes that they already inhabit? Anything that they can do within their own homes to kind of...
Absolutely. I mean, the biggest thing that we look at on the front end of any project, especially this is a renovation project. This building is over 100 years old.
Wow.
It's called the Roosevelt because Teddy Roosevelt was in this building before. This was one of the older buildings in Ybor. This used to be a livery stable. So when the Rough Riders were stationed in Tampa, they would come to Ybor City, and this is where their horses would be quartered. And this is an old building, and the first thing we did was we looked around and we looked at the ways that energy was being wasted here, and we set about looking at ways that we could turn that around. One of the first things we did was we put a soy-based spray foam roof on top of the building, and we actually helped that company get a Florida Product Code approval for that product. And
Awesome.
We created a number of different win-win situations in order for that to happen, so everyone got something out of it. And that's the type of business model that we're trying to convey here, is that in order for someone to win, it doesn't mean that someone else has to lose. We don't want to involve ourselves in any kind of project at all that creates a situation where someone's losing out. We believe that philosophically the business can be conducted where everyone gets what they want out of a situation, and that to me is sustainable. As far as what people can do in their own homes, the first thing we did here was we looked around and we saw where energy and where resources were being wasted, and we looked at ways to curtail that as much as possible. So the spray foam roof really helped to insulate this building significantly and cut down on the heat gain. Things like in your home, we're in Florida here, so air conditioning is one of our biggest energy draws here. And proper shading, landscaping is a big thing. You can plant trees or deciduous vines on the west side and the south side of your house, and actually trees and plants, not only do they shade your house from the sun, they actually can drop the temperature around their leaves. That's how, through transpiration, similar to the way humans perspire, plants transpire, and they actually lower the temperature around the leaves. So planting a green roof, putting a vine that climbs up a trellis on the south side or west side of your house can cut down significantly. Makes your house look more beautiful, and it cuts down on the amount of energy that it takes to air condition it. Looking at ways to conserve water. We do a lot of constructed wetlands, so we take gray water, which is filled with soaps and skin cells and hair follicles and things like that, and those get broken down by microorganisms within these planters that we create, and then that makes it nutritionally available to plants, so we can actually grow things like tomatoes and peppers and bananas and produce food out of what we normally would consider a waste product, and it's actually a resource. The plants do a fantastic job of cleaning that water up. We then can reuse it for toilet flushing or for irrigation, things that you would normally use potable water for. The water that comes out of one of these planters is plenty clean enough to handle those functions. So we have a project in Manatee County that's a different version of what the Roosevelt is here. It's on a more rural piece of property, and we actually capture rainwater on the roof of that building, and we reuse it 5 times before it's returned to the earth.
Wow.
So, not only are we able to pull food out of the system, we're also using the sewage to create energy, which is part of a pilot project for what we'll be doing here at the Roosevelt, is creating a waste to energy system that will be generating the electricity for this building. Ultimately, this building will be off-grid when we get done with it.
Beautiful, beautiful. And do you see it being possible in the future for everyone to live in an intentional and self-sustaining way and still live the comfortable lifestyle that they've come to know and enjoy?
Absolutely, but the first thing that has to happen is a major, major paradigm shift and a major shift in people's consciousness. And that's sort of the events that we do here, the things that we do here, and the way we interact with people is we're trying to always put out a positive message and put forth positive energy and bring people together who have similar interests, but also to educate those people that there is a different way. There's a big movement going on around the world right now, and people are kind of fed up with the things being the way they are. There's a lot of poverty and things in the world right now, and what we have to really do is focus on creating abundance. And like I said, that's going to take a major, major shift in the overall consciousness of people in order for that to ever happen. And it's going to take things like the Roosevelt, things like other projects that we're working on and other people that we're connected with are working on to begin to elevate people to the point where they understand that yes, you can live a comfortable life, but you can do so in a manner that's responsible not only to the environment, but also to one another as well.
And I think that's the most important thing, is learning, to respect ourselves and one another just as much as we should be respecting our resources and the planet around us. And when we do, people will be able to come in and feel that positivity like they do even when they step into these projects not knowing anything about it.
Right.
So it's extraordinarily powerful, and I thank you, and I'm so excited for looking forward to the future. I know John may have photographed you. Did he get you giving your message to anyone? Did you do that with John?
Yep, I did. Yeah.
And what was your message?
My message was, one are we all. And what I mean by that is that we are all the same. And it seems a little esoteric sometimes to some people, but the truth of the matter is, like, we're all a whole bunch of whirring molecules that are flying around in space, held together by electromagnetic energy, and that energy that flows between people, flows between plants, animals, solid objects, everything else, like the thing that holds it all together. That's the universal consciousness that we're all a part of. And once we learn that there is no difference between ourselves and our neighbors, then we're going to take a big leap forward, I think.
I think so too. I do believe in it. I realized that when I kind of sat back and thought, well, energy can't be created or destroyed, so literally everything that's here has been here since the beginning of time. It's just been restructured, recycled into something new.
Absolutely.
And everything we do, positive energy breeds positivity and creation, and the negative energy, breeds destruction, which will always come back from that. But we have to understand that we have the control of the energy, and it's respecting that and learning how to control it.
Right.
That I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, me me too.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I will hopefully be keeping in touch, and I'll send you the final cut.
All right. Looking
Thank
forward
you.
to hearing more about your journey too.
Thank you.